Another cool umbrella and central screw replaying. What is going on with that portrait right here? What the fuck is that? What they reworked the portraits and somehow made them worse. Like, why is he not in the frame at all? Like, it's just his eye, which like could be cool, but then you look over here and this guy's too far away. So it's like figure it out. Come on, are we doing super zoomed in cool shots? Or are we doing zoomed out? It's picture day at school shots. I'm confused. Anyway, for the Beastmen, we do have a Doombull, Butchers of Kalkengard. We have a Braciaman of Wilds with Traderkin and Devolve. Then a crapload of Centaurs, Chaos Warhounds, Warhounds of Poison, some Centaurs Throwing Axes, more Centaurs, Krox Manrippers, Bestigor Herds, ROR, and a bunch of Ungor Spearmen. No sides for the Ogres. We do have an Iron Blaster, a couple Noblar Trappers in the front line, Noblars in the secondary, Sky Striders Crushers with great weapons, Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw with Troll Guts only for a spell, backline of Ogre Bulls, Ogre Bulls. Then we have one Man-Eaters with great weapons, and we have the Powder Guts, Man-Eaters with Ogre Pistols. Iron Blaster is trying to get some free shots off before the battle begins in earnest. Got some hits onto the Butchers of Kalkengard. Did not kill a model yet, so they will regen back up. And it had orders to fire over at those Throwing Axes, but unfortunately got caught up in some Ungor Spearman herd shenanigans. Gonna double fast forward here real quick. Looks like the Beastmen are going for a vast flank overload. This is probably too many units on one side. Like, there's overload, but you could still have, like, one dog and one Centaur over here just to harass. I don't know. Because this means your opponent has to dedicate nothing to this side, and it's much more likely you'll end up in a blob over here, which blobs are usually punished and not as effective as having your units spread out. Just because there's less, like, surface area, right? There's less surface area to attack, so it's more likely with 8 things trying to come in that they'll end up too close to each other and get blobbed. Whereas, like, if you had 2 over here, they have all this space to stay away from each other. And you can still have 6 over here, which is still probably too many. Anyway, I digress. Ogres and Noblar Trappers are holding them off just fine. Iron Blaster even gets a shot in that looked better than it really did damage, but okay. Ungor Spearmen and the Krox Manrippers are tearing through the Noblar front line, however, so Ogres are going to have to get involved somewhere, somehow. Otherwise, they're just going to lose. Ungor Spearman Herds does go fight the Powder Guts, which is kind of funny. They got all the way back here already, but the Iron Blaster is staying away. Noblar Trappers getting their little AoE damage thingy down onto these Centaurs and Chaos Warhounds, while the other Trappers are just firing in as the shitty little archers that they try to be. Nice Iron Blast shot hits both of the Centaurs with Throwing Axes, hits none of the dogs! It was apparently over their heads, but still pretty funny. Here we are, the Butchers of Kalkengard and the Doombull piling straight in onto the Powder Guts, dealing a lot of damage onto them, though the Powder Guts do fight better when they're losing. So that's cool for them, and the Sky Striders are also here to do some good damage. Now, a lot of Ogre players really like the Sky Striders. I've had some success with them sometimes, but a lot of times I see them just standing around like this asshole is, and not really swinging. So currently they're getting the shit kicked out of them while they're just not swinging. At least some of them aren't, and that's rather annoying. What was that? Traderkin got cast onto the Sky Striders? Okay. I mean, it is an expensive unit, so more power to you. Iron Blaster is still trying to peel off some of the Beastmen, but it's running out of room to work with as the Butchers of Kalkengard and Doombull are just beating the shit out of the Sky Striders because they don't swing! Because they don't swing! Ever! Ogres, god damn it, just swing! Iron Blaster is now stuck in melee combat. It looks like the Sky Striders are going to come back and try to get a rear charge. They're kind of charging multiple units, which is fine, but they need to route them off. Ogres aren't feeling so bad on the balance of power, but on the field it looks pretty bad for them. Beastmen have won the front line, their sidelines aren't doing that bad, and the Ogre backline is entirely compromised. Now the Powder Guts are trying to find somewhere to shoot. Iron Blasters are also trying to shoot at something. And the Sky Striders are just trying to get out of here at this point. Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw might get caught up, and the Doombull could actually beat his ass if he even looks over at him. The Man-Eaters of the Great Weapons got crushed. Jeez. Powder Guts plus the Iron Blaster, with a little bit of help from the Sky Striders, is able to get rid of those Centaurs and keep the backline safe. But now the balance of power turns slightly against the Ogres, and I would tend to agree. But I would think it's even a little worse for them than that. Butchers of Kalkengard, though, they're running out of health. They're running a little bit out of health. This guy needs to be saved, though. Something needs to be done with the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. Probably have the Powder Guts walk over here into melee and beat his ass. I don't know. Iron Blaster's trying to get nice shots down the side onto the Centaurs, but it looks like so far he's just been targeting like individual models, which it's kind of RNG. Can't really control that too much. Korok's Man Rippers are going to be a problem unless the Iron Blaster has sufficient health and ammunition in the late game to just kite them. Butcher's Calgon Guard still healing up. How many models do you guys have? 10? That's not great. See, now you can see what I'm talking about, though. These powder guts, man. If your Lord's in trouble, just throw them in melee. It doesn't matter that they're pistol troop. They do so good. They're beating the shit out of this Doom Bull. He's having the worst day of his entire life. I can't blame him. Centaurs are throwing axes trying to shoot at the powdered guts. But they're getting hit in the butt by some Ogre Bulls. They'll probably rout here in any second. Ogres are holding on, barely, to some of their elite units. Another Troll Guts onto the Sky Striders, whose healing cap has even come into sight off of just Troll Guts alone. Iron Blaster's thinking about shooting the Butchers of Calgon Guard, but it can't see them and it won't fire. Needs to run away now from the Korok's Man Rippers. Sky Striders still fighting. The Butchers are kind of trying to. They're all like caught up on their own Lord, which is fun. I think Ogres are probably going to get so many buffs that they'll end up being a toxic faction if Monstrous Infantry ever gets fixed. Or Monstrous Cavalry. Like, if this stuff swings, its stats are going to be so juiced. You have no idea. Like, these guys... Hold on. These guys have, like, 30? Yeah, 30 bonus versus large. They have 84 melee attack against large things. They just don't feel like it because their models are jank. But if they ever unjankify those models, stats are going to be a problem. For now, it's fine because their models are all completely busted. Get a side charge on Centaurs throwing axes, club them to death. Butcher's Calgon Guard fighting to the very end. Doom Bull is chasing around the Iron Blaster, making sure it won't get anything done. His rear charge attack somehow missed, it looked like, unless it just did negligible damage. Yep, that one hit. The Iron Blaster might be routing. It's trying to fire, but it can't. And the Korok's Man Rippers and Centaurs are surrounding the Powder Guts. The Powder Guts are actually going down. Plus a little flock of Doom love onto the Sky Striders, but yeah, this is a real bad situation for the Ogres. Trying to throw Troll Guts down onto the Man-Eaters, really keep them fighting as the Korok's Man Rippers, but the Man Rippers will not be denied. Doom Bull is now fighting Slaughtermaster, and the Sky Striders need to come in here. They need to save him. Save the boy! Save the boy! They're not going to. They're just not gonna. They're AFK. I don't give a shit about the boy. Why do I give a shit about... I don't give a shit about the boy. Nobody gives a shit about the boy. Powder Guts are still fighting. Sky Striders are coming! Sky Striders are gonna Sky Stride! Oh my god, they're in it! Do they swing? 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 No, they don't! They didn't swing a single time! God damn it, I hate this game. Alright. Powder Guts have almost heal capped. Sky Strider's heal cap is in sight, but they're terror routing off at the moment. Korok's Man Rippers still fighting. Still doing their best. Beastmen are up on the balance of power. Beastmen have a whole bunch of Ungor Spearmen herded off in the middle of nowhere that definitely need to come back right about now. The Funk So Rubber let it out now. The Funk So Rubber. Now they will swing, and that'll be the end of the Butchers of Calgon Guard. 100% no way they beat the Sky Striders in this state. Unless the Sky Striders' leadership fails! Oh my god, the Sky Striders! How is this possible? Anyway, still think the Beastmen have got it just because of the sheer mass of unwashed anti-large infantry they have, but if the Doom Bull dies, maybe there could be some cycle charging in store. What is that? A Traderkin! An undercasted Traderkin is going to do pretty good damage. Slaughtermaster the Great Maw is probably going to rout any second now. Butchers of Calgon Guard are chasing off those guys. As for the Ogres, all they have left is a rear charge in from some basic Ogre Bulls. The Powder Guts are still technically fighting. And can they kill the Doom Bull? No! No, they can't. Sky Striders have 147 kills. I bet their value is going to be okay, but I actually, I'm sorry to hate that unit. Alright, Doom Bull 1600 did very well. Butcher's Calgon Guard did great. Korok's Man Rippers did excellently. Centaurs throwing X's struggled, that together they paid for just themselves, but they got shot a lot, I guess. Traderkin was a really good spell here. I liked it a lot. Centaurs did awesome. Dogs chased things, and Ungor Spearman herds did just incredibly well. Look at that one. 1300 value. 300 on the Great Maulcaster, 1600 on the Sky Striders. Didn't even pay for themselves with all that. 2,100 on the Powder Guts, 1,400 on the Iron Blaster, 1,300 on Mandy's Grey Opens, who just like disintegrated before our eyes, so I'm shocked they even got that much value. Ogre Bulls mixed, overall fine. Nalbar Trapper's actually pretty good considering their cost, and Noblars did great considering their cost. Yeah, Skystriders and Mornfang Cav in general have been really disappointing me lately. Makes me sad. Makes me the big sag. Also the fact that you can just take any chaff unit that has a spear and you have a pretty good shot of getting at least one doing this is pretty tragic. I don't like it. Rip Ogres.
Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.